Traders. Hope you had a good 3-day weekend. You know I did. You know this, man. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Doing fine. Thanks for asking. All right, we got a snake bite that was just filled on the Unos Momentos Grafica. We're in order on everything else except for the 15 Menotes. 15 has a snaky poo underneath it. Whoa. I almost just hit the buy button accidentally, everybody. Oh, whoa, whoa. All right, let's take a look at the larger time frames here. I've already kind of looked through this business. You're the one in front of the gun, lives forever. Okay, let's take a look here. Only losing traders add to losing trades. I want to remind everybody of that. All right, so here's my premises. This. I think we have to fill these gaps up in here. Okay, I think we have to push through this. Okay, now let's go down a time frame. First thing is we're outside narrow range. We're not using the Keltners on the 2-minute charts. Now, here's the main level, 7583 spot 75. Why? Because that is the spread on the 4-hour in direct relation to this movie or this line here, right? So we have, excuse me, convergence. Elijah, try to turn the lights on. Let's see what they do. All right, everybody, we had to go back. We had to go back to OBS from slobs. The reason that our stream kept quitting was the Streamlabs. Streamlabs has a big error. Error. Yep. Turn all of them on now. Go ahead. Yep, they're all on. Good. All right. Okay. First thing I want to do though. Well, let's get through these, and then I want to show you guys about Delta. Ryan, are you here? Right. So as we go down into the 2-hour, it's a little more prevalent, right? But here's the breaker block. If this is a head and shoulders, right? Inverted head and shoulders, this would be the breaker block. If not, this is just the order block, right? So then this would be the breaker block up here. And that puts us right at all-time highs, right? Okay, down to the 1-hour. It's getting a little more involved here, where we have
pink bar 1-minute chart,
greater noise. All right, as you can see, we're in a Charlie Foxtrot here. Still waiting to see what we do. 75.87. Okay, and then on the 4-hour, we have 75.83. So looking at these two here, we've got a lot of resistance. All right, 15 and 45 minute. The one in front of the gun lives forever. A kind of a nice trending pattern on the 1-hour and 2-hour, but is that short-lived? As we have approached, let's just go to right here, as we have approached this level. Okay, we're going to find out. And if we break through there, okay, we have 75.87 on the 1-hour. Yep, 75.87. Okay, but here on the 15, we have 75.88. So between 75.83 75.83. Ryan, are you here? right? So the thought is, if we look on the 15-minute chart, we there is no trend, right? As much as we would love to say that there's a trend, folks, this is sideways business. Sideways, wide ranged business, right? This would be a narrow state. Okay. All right. Because and now why would we call it a narrow state? Well, let's go ahead and use the 20 and the 200. Ah, there we go. Much easier to see. We're just oscillating around the 200. So, do we continue or do we not? Let's make sure that we're clear on it before we do. We are at the top of the range. The overnight high is 75.58.75. So we're there right now. Prior swing 83. All right, so we have a litany of levels right above us. What's below us? Well, VWAP 200, VAH, VPUC, VAL. Excuse me. There's the yawning, right? The pre-trade yawn. All right. Quite a bit of volume on that closing bar there. All right, let's go to the 5-minute and see if we see anything. All right, it says that we're supposed to be long at the top. Oh boy. Right into 75, 83.75. Now, does that number sound familiar to any Juan? It does to me. I've got a big arrow right at it already. So, do we get there? I don't know. All right. Now, next thing I want to look at is okay, Ryan's here. Okay, next thing we're going to look at is delta. I want to give a nice little class on how I see delta. Elijah, how do you start recording? Is it safe to record? Oh boy. Yeah, okay, here we go. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you. So the question is, what time frame does the delta go on? Okay, so here's the deal. It goes on the time frame that you're trading on, and we mostly trade on the 2-minute chart. Okay, now here's where this delta gets wonky, right? Because if you have no experience with what I'm about to share, it's a little hard to understand. Okay. The premise of how I look at this, and it has been very, very successful, is I want to think about this as if this is the locals. Okay. Now, who are the locals? The locals are the people that had a seat on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're the people that traded on the floor. Now, there's several different types of traders on the floor. There's the locals, who are just the independent guys who have a seat. They either lease a seat or they own a seat. Okay. Now, there's also what's called paper, okay, which is a derogatory term for orders coming into the market. Okay, because the locals thought that they were smarter than anyone else. Now, The third kind is the institutional investor, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, blah, 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 blah. This was before all the big hedge funds got in. Okay, so now what the assumption was that locals win and paper loses. Again, paper is a derogatory term for orders coming in to the market from the outside. Now, what locals thought was that they could run people over by just grouping together. Okay. However, there are a lot of times where the locals are wrong. Okay. Now, I want to show you one of the levels. Let's try to find one. And what it looks like is capitulation. Okay. So here, the locals have it right. Right? They're waiting. It's shallow. They're buying the pullbacks. They're boosting out of here. They're buying it. They're buying it. They're buying it. Locals are in control. So now I'm just looking at this through one way. This doesn't mean it actually what it is. I'll explain what it actually is here in just a second. But first of all, what I have to do is I have to explain, well, what the hell does this mean and what could happen? All right. Let me show you. What if the seller came in right here? The tape, excuse me, the price actually went down. Okay. Whilst this continues like this. Okay, what now what would happen? Let me explain. Either the locals are going to try to hold it up by taking it on the offer. Okay, which if we have, all right, let me explain how this works. We've got the actual price, we've got the offer, and we've got the bid. Okay? If delta is going down, they're trading it on what's called the bid. They're selling to the bid. The resting bid is being taken. Okay, that's normally we see, you see it right here. Okay, but you see price coming down all the same. Okay, now if they're going to try to push it upwards, they're going to take the offer. Okay, and if they're going to take the offer, you're going to see the delta increase. Okay, now that we've got the basics of it, let's dive into what actually happens. Let's say that price falls very quickly and that you notice that the delta is not falling as fast, or they're actually still buying it. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that the market is going to turn around. Okay. That doesn't mean price is going to turn around at some point. That's not what that means. I hope everybody understands. What we're actually watching is if price continues to slide, what actually happens to the delta? Let me tell you what I mean. If they have to capitulate, if the locals have to admit that they're wrong, it's going to really come down fast. Because let's say that price is falling, they're going to have to capitulate, and then they become the sellers. They take it on the bid. Okay, remember, they become the sellers. They take it on the bid. And if all of them are wrong as this whole thing's going up, right, they have to move it lower. So to answer your question, guys, it doesn't matter what time frame you have cumulative delta on. It's just a matter of how you look at it. But what we want to do is we want to go back and we want to look at, well, where does it not make sense? Right? And we're going to find these together. Here's one. This is a good example. Okay, we've been trending down, trending down, trending down, trending down. We get a low here. Okay, we get a low here. We get a low here. Now, this is a mild example of it, but this is what starts it, right? Okay, market's open, but that's okay. This isn't our money, right? Notice you have this. Notice you have this. Okay, what that tells us is they tried to sell it and they failed. So now they all have to cover at the same time. And they've realized that the seller did not come in. Now this is a very simple thing called divergence.
Blue bar, 1 minute chart.
What creates it? Exactly what I just showed you. All of the people that are one direction have to cover before anyone else can cover. So the way that you want to think about it is, when do the locals get trapped? Oh, look at this right here. Here you go. So look at how they sell. They look, they're selling on the bid to right here. They buy it. Now, look, I know this is into the close, but it's actually an even better example. Okay, notice that the sellers are trying to sell on the bid and it keeps going up. Okay, notice they hammer it right here. Okay, but notice that price goes up. So what they have to do is they have to cover here at the end. Now, think about it. Those people that tried to buy here, well, they're not really a fan of that right now, right? And so then the market reopens, they try to buy it, they fail, and then they just restart the process. Now, is it as easy to see as just finding a place and going with it? No, you have to be cognizant of everything that we're looking for. So now look at the delta pushing up, okay, with price. That means the locals are winning, right? Now, it doesn't literally mean that, right? Because who's a local nowadays? Well, anyone that's whatever, right? Whoever. Okay. It's all of us. Now, we just extended above yesterday's high. We also just extended above our session high. So you can see that they came in and they had to own it. Okay, so now what we want to watch for is what happens on this spike on delta and price. If they continue to move up in lockstep, well, then we know that the locals are on the right direction. Okay, let's say that the bid slides and price continues to move up. Well, that means the sellers are getting accumulated, and it either is going to really push higher or it's going to capitulate. Okay, let's say that price falls and delta doesn't. Well, that means they're absorbing it. Okay, and either they're going to get caught off sides down here. Okay, while price is moving up, and then they'll have to move it back up like this. Okay, and then this will go like this. Okay, so delta isn't just rise over run. So sometimes we think it is, right? How perfect it is. But a lot of times it's what is the divergence, convergence between certain things. Let me see if I can find another good example where it's very, very obvious. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, look at how it goes like this, and look how it goes like this. Someone got smoked right there. See this in relation to this? Do you guys see that? Yeah, you guys still see it. Okay, see this in relation to this? See how they tried to sell it hard here? And they failed, so they had to buy it back. And then right after they had to buy it back, they got smoked again. So they all try to chase it down there with a net. negative 3,000, negative 3,500. Yet there's accumulation. Do you guys remember this? You guys remember this? This was part of the price action early. Oh, Wednesday or Thursday? Was it Friday? Might have even been Friday. Okay, but this is a good example. They had to capitulate because they got divergence. It even starts right here too.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Okay. So, looking for where a big group of players can get stuck is actually what you're looking for. The best way that I look at it is I spent years listening to the Squawk Box. Okay, and listening to the Squawk Box, I had Ben Lichtenstein telling me every time the locals would buy, the locals would buy, the locals would buy, the market's going down, the locals would buy, and then finally the locals had to capitulate. And JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, those guys made a fortune. Okay. So I'm putting this to work with everything that I learned before I used to actually watch the cumulative volume delta, because the CVD doesn't mean that it's the locals that are actually chasing and or capitulating. It just makes it easier for me to understand what I'm actually looking at. I want to remind everyone that the bid, if they take it on the bid, right? If they trade to the resting bid, it makes the delta go down. If they trade to the resting offer, it makes the delta go up. All right, everybody. I hope that helps. We recorded it, so we'll figure out how to get it out to you. I would love to tell you that it's just as easy as you're typing it
Pink
out,
bar,
Ryan.
10 range chart.
But it really has to do with tape and order flow, and this is just a graphical representation of it. It's really hard to find very short-term plays on it, because here's something that I thought of over the weekend, and someone said something and it brought it to my attention. Okay. If we think, okay, I'm going to give an example. Oh, okay, we see a buyer, so we need to find a pullback. Okay. Well, if we were to just say it that easy, wouldn't the arbitrage just arbitrage it? Okay. Does that make sense? Wouldn't the arbitrageurs just take advantage of us and rake us under the coals? Okay, but here's what I want you to think of, and I want you to think of the next level of game theory. Okay. If it's so easy for the arbitrageurs to just exploit us, wouldn't the arbitrageurs exploit the arbitrageurs that are exploiting us? I'm going to let you ponder that for a minute. Okay. Wouldn't the arbitrageurs trade against the arbitrageurs that are trading against us? Okay. And you could go very, very many levels about tit for tat, tit for tat. Okay. Game theory, tit for tat, tit for tat. Where is the Nash equilibrium in that strategy? Okay. Now here's the deal. If you haven't gone down the game theory rabbit hole and you want to be a professional trader, it is time for you to do so. Okay, just open up any AI and say, please explain to me the basics of game theory. Okay, and then after she explains it to you, have her explain the next, right? They're going to go into Nash equilibrium. They're going to go into tit for tat. Okay, they're going to start with prisoner's dilemma, right? Okay, you see where we're going with this, right? So all of that relates. It's just a matter of when do they use the game theory to their advantage against us as players. Yeah, cheers, Ryan. Cheers. Delta. Okay, so delta only works up to a certain point. Okay, then it becomes distortion. So you don't want to go above like a 5-minute chart, or you can't go intraday on excuse me, you can go intraday, but you can't go uh outra day. Because look at what it does. I don't know if you can see it on my screen. It'll reset itself. Yeah, you could see it right here. Okay, right here. But it is very useful for very short-term time frame switches in the market. So I use it on the 2-minute. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, the 5-minute flipped in the past 30 minutes. All right. We have a positive slope on the delta, so that's potentially bullish. Okay, remember why I just said that. Now, 2-minute is out of order. You see this? Price, VWAP 200, out of order. The 5-minute has really ramped into order. This, and I wasn't sitting here when this first fired off. This is the actual fucking buy signal. All of you should be balls deep long. Now, I was not sitting here, full disclosure. I got here right as this bar closed. Okay. I was not prepared. This is the buy signal. The only thing that would have made this a better buy signal was if this crossed at the same time. But because we could see that it doesn't, it is a little sketchier. See, we would want it to look like this. Now it crosses the 200 correctly here, but it doesn't cross this correctly. It doesn't turn up until right here. So this is the closest thing to it.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
All right, let's look at the delta. Let's see if there's anything that it can tell us. Ah, it's total wash, right? They're off taking the offer, they're taking the bid, they're taking the offer, they're taking the bid. It's slowly working its way up, but look, it's also working its way down. So let's say that it comes down here, and I'm just making this up for illustrative intents and purposes. Let's say it goes down here, but let's say that this doesn't. Do they have to capitulate in one way or the other? The capitulation in this instance would be down. Ooh, Elijah, let's try out the Pro Cam. Do we have a Pro Cam button anymore? Ooh, is there a hotkey for it, my friend? I don't remember which one I used. It's been so long. He's going to try to get my smiling face on there. Everybody, you're going to love the new video. Wait till you see the new video that's coming out today. Oh, the camera itself. Oh, I thought you meant the light. Copy. Copy that. Waiting for the blue light to turn on. Green light just turned on, sir. All right, so now if you're wondering, does this guy even trade? Maybe. Stick around, you'll find out. Don't forget Apex and Apex and Trade Day have 5 packs. Guys, there's Apex 5 packs that are cheaper than $100. Use the code SageFT at checkout or use the link provided. Does seem like my mouse or my microphone has moved a little bit. It does seem really loose. Is someone messing with my shit? We're sitting at yesterday's highs. And that was right off the opening bell, and it never came back to it. So let's move out a little bit. Is this the draw point? Or are they going to break through, just like Jim Morrison, to the other side? Here's the deal. We don't know. Let's wait for it to tell us. No guessing. We're chilling. Thank you very much. And good morning to everyone that said hello or good morning. It's a good morning to you. 15-minute. Okay. Look at the 15-minute VWAP 200 right here. Okay, if they get paint, the momentum is so skewed, guys. It's late or early. It's early, right? I am on the sidelines. I have a major red flag. Who's ready for the major red flag? Ready? Here it is. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Now, how do snakes work? Let me explain. Okay, the way that they work, they're not some sort of voodoo shit. Okay, the way that they work is everybody gets a little too excited. Everybody gets a little too excited, and then they enter too late or too early, and it just floats back to the moving average. That's how the snake actually works. What is a
Blue bar,
snake?
1
It's
minute
when
chart.
white is outside of red and blue. Very simple. Okay. We are at the spread, the 15-minute prior spread low. Can they get through the 88s? We're slowly
Pink
trending
bar,
upwards,
10
right?
range chart.
So, but I have no edge. Not that I can see. Where's my edge? It's not on the 2-minute. 5 minute, not the 15. It's 75 to 88. 83 to 88 is locked in. I'm gonna step away for just a minute. I'll be right back. I'm still trying to gain my focus, folks. Oh, do we need to center it or anything, Elijah? I think it was pretty centered when I did the video. Let's test it. Nope. FOMO walk not working, my friend. It's mad at us. Not the hotkeys. Okay, let's good. I'll be right back, Elijah. Guys, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm leery of trading the breakout slash buy side liquidity level. Okay, let's chill. We just hit Mancini 75.90. Now let's see what they do with it.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Dun, 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 dun. We've gone nowhere. Good, 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 good. Now, with the delta, a lot of people think that if you're in the 17,000s, it's going to keep going up. That is absolutely not true. That is not true. Okay. You got a long in the 92, 92 long on 1 minute and 2 minutes, but all right, so this is let's kind of lock in here. Look at how we're getting lower deltas, right? So if the locals are selling this top, right? Now I'm not saying this is I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. If the locals are selling this top, right? And you see them hitting the bid, 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 hitting the bid. If this goes up higher, do they have to capitulate? If this goes to 76.30, I'm not saying it's going to. If it does, what do they skyrocket the delta? Boom. Okay. Or not, right? Or is this hitting the bid, hitting the bid, hitting the bid, telling us that we need to be real careful on the top side?
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Hey, Elijah, we got FOMO man up in this bitch. Oh, not the hotkey. The hotkey didn't work. No, no news today. No news Tuesday. New home sales Wednesday. All right, big news 8:30 a.m. Thursday. And then the international trade in goods on Friday at 8:30 a.m. Consumer sentiment on Friday. Oh, hey, there's Batman. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's Batman. What? Twitter's down. There we go. Yeah, that was not good. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, if Twitter's down, no Buenskis. Oh, different. No, completely different computer. I know. I see it. So do they just blow this wide open? I would have liked to see these blue bars down here. Lots of noise below us on the 5. Lots of noise on the 2 below us. 88s on the 10 range. 86s, 87s on the 1 minute.
Yellow bar, 10 range chart.
Let's go.
Pink bar, 1 minute chart.
SpaceX is getting smoked. Let's go, Jeff.
Blue bar, 2-minute chart.
Look at how all the 5-minute longs failed.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Oh man, I was gonna take that, but it's right on yesterday's high. Look at that though. That is a killer bar. It closes right below. They tried to buy it back up and it failed completely. All right, snake bite in the 15-minute coming up.
Pink bar, 5-minute chart.
So they brought the VWAP up and then they just cut it like a knife.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
A lot of noise on the 10 range, guys.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Man, these are just firing and firing and firing. Damn. You guys catching this? This is not what I expected, right? So my opinion kept me from doing that. But also, I really wanted to see what they were going to do with this level here, and obviously they drew on it, right? We nailed it for drawing it out. But so what they did is they drew on the liquidity with a liquidity grab. They took all the buy side liquidity and smoked it.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
FOMO man died, Elisha. All scenes died, Elisha. Can't change the camera. FOMO man. FOMO walk. Oh, do you not have the hotkeys? Is that what you were saying? Copy that.
Yellow bar, 10 range chart.
Close the program and open it again. See if that helps.
Blue bar, 10 range chart.
Damn, they're still taking it down. They're still hitting the bid. They're still pushing the delta down.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Damn, that was fast. Decision point, 15-minute. Fifteen-minute got crushed. Anyone take any shorts? Good, good, good. Here at the bottom of the spread on the 10 range. Let's go, Northwest. Nice, Alpha.
Pink bar, 10 range chart. Pink bar, 1-minute chart. Pink bar, 2-minute chart. Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Come on, break. Break. Come on, break 38. Lean. Lean. Row. Maggots. Row. Stops down. They got a big offer above at 44. Now that offer's at 48.
Pink bar, 10 range chart. Blue bar, 1 minute chart.
Okay, coming up on the low to low, coming up on the low to low. Do they reverse it or flush it right through? I bet 34.75 target. I wish I would have added up there when I saw the tape stall. It would have given me a little bit of more of a break even, a little bit of a better of a price. So far, 38's the over under. Decision. Okay, they just tried to buy it. They're trying to nibble. They're leaning on the bid still. So this is where we would do it. We would watch to see what the delta and the price do, right? There's your 38s. There's your 38s. He sold it. Somebody absorbed. There's your 38s. Okay, 28's the Mancini. Ugh. Okay, there's a buyer at 44. There was a ton of tape at 44. So did it push the delta? Yes, it did. So now do what happens to price and delta now? Because if all of that just printed at 44, that tried to push the net delta higher.
Pink bar, 1 minute chart.
Cumulative. Okay, low to low, decision point right here at 40, 41. So now
Blue
if we
bar,
print 36,
10
what
range
happens, right? Lower low. Okay, there it is. There it is. There's the 10 range at 39.75. None of us would have been filled. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Break of 38. Break of 38. Stops down. We don't want it to go anymore. Okay, get ready to move your stop down to 37.75 once we get a little bit lower. Okay, they're leaning. They're leaning. They're leaning.
Order filled.
Bang. Now, I didn't get the 39.75 entry. Now, the reason I had my stop up a little bit higher was look at your 2 minute. Now look at what happened on the 1 minute after the 46 is touched. Look at that. Look at that. Bank. You had plenty of chances to re-enter if you took a stop.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Yes, Bill Roberts. Yes. They completed business at our
Blue
3475.
bar, 10 range chart.
3475 over under. Be very careful. This is Shopee. Shopee.
Yellow bar, 10 range chart.
Damn, it's gone. Damn. Damn. Okay, there's your target. Damn.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Whoa.
Pink bar,
Whoa.
1 minute chart.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you take profit, Davey? Wow. Careful. Sellers lurking. Sellers lurking. Look at this.
Blue bar, 10 range chart.
Oh, good, 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 good.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
I unplugged it and reset it, Elijah, so I don't know.
Yellow bar, 2-minute chart.
Pink bar, 10 range chart.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Yellow bar, 1-minute chart.
Can they get through this order block, breaker block? Or does it just die right here?
Order submitted.
Ugh. Yuck. Yuck.
Order filled.
Row, maggots, row. Push, maggots, push. Get ready to move your stop up. Okay, stops up a little bit. Push. Do they get it to the 50s? 48s is the seller. Push. Push. Okay, buy side imbalance here. Okay, stops up to 43.50. Okay, on the next blurb, we're going to push the stop up. Stops up. 45.75 stop. I don't care what it does. I don't care what it does. Come on, 48.50, go. Come on, 48.50, go. Big seller at 48. Big seller at 48. Big seller at 48. Free trade for me. I don't care where it goes. This is taking too much time. Go. There's a 48 seller. Get out of there.
Order filled.
Let's go. Go, 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 go. Cancel all orders. Hit close. Hit cancel. Whatever you're going to do. Let's roll. That was exhausting. Now, why did I like long instead of short? Let me show you. Do you see it? There's two things. Okay, the first thing is it holds the lower low 3 times. The second thing is on the first, it was on the, you see this? Look at this. Oh shit, we're way past time to quit. Look at this. So we get permission. Look at this, everybody. This thing's going to keep going. This thing is going to keep going. We get permission here. Line break, paint. Okay, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and shkaboonga. Shkaboonga. With that being said, my wife is telling me I am too late. I gots to get up out of here. Peace.